Good evening, my friends, and welcome to this evening's Juve therapy session. So, before we go anywhere, before we introduce this guy, uh, you don't need to tell who you are because this is kind of a surprise for everyone. So, Suspected Crab in the chat, Anish in the chat, Nilesh in the chat, Mr. Balosh, and of course, Steve, who is not only in the chat, but also freaking with me on the screen. This is Steve, my friends. This is the actual Steve, the guy behind STEVEZ316 account. So say hi to Steve, everyone. This is the guy in person. Steve, it is a great, great pleasure to have you finally on board. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Roman. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite. It was a bit surprising today, but
Sure.
it's lovely, and I hope I don't scare away any of the guests of the viewers today. So,
Well, I won't be. Unless you're gonna go off and ranting about how good Merda are or something, that will scare people away. Or start talking positively about Cristiano. That will scare people away.
no, those words are actually not allowed in this house. You can be positive about Cristiano. I don't have a problem with that. I've never been a Ronaldo fan
Okay.
myself. I'm more of the traditional Juve type of players. And Ronaldo, he's done great for us. No disrespect there, but he's never been a Juve man for me.
Well, that is a perfect start because he is now in the past for Juve and right now. Um, yes, Anish, it is true. We actually see the real Steve in the flesh. It is fantastic. It is actually the real person, so it's lovely. So before we start off with Juve 2021, all this mess with Dybala, of course, we're going to talk about Dybala, guys. Don't worry. Whether we want to stay him or want to leave, want him to leave or not, we'll discuss that. But before we go there, I just want to know a little bit more about my guest today. So, why Juve, Steve? This is the first question people usually ask on the chats of this kind of magnitude. On YouTube, if you have a guest of some from somewhere around the world, kind of why Juve? Why Juve for you especially?
Well, I told you in the past and on the stream a few times, I'm a Dutch guy, and I don't go with the stream. And everybody here in Holland is a Ajax supporter. So for me, that's definitely not an option. And then in Holland, there's no other team that could even rival them. So I started looking abroad when I was like 9, 10 years old, and I saw Juve winning like the UEFA League every 2 or 3 years by that time. They
And
had some
which
great
year are we
players.
talking about right now?
99, 91, I think, when we had
Wow.
Lombardo in the midfield, those kind of players. And he stood out because he was bald, and I was like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
young guy. Like, how do they have this guy and they still win these prizes? So that drew me to Juventus, and they didn't show the matches in full here. They were only like on Sunday evening, 9 o'clock. They showed some summaries, so I could stay up late. And I said, "No, this is my team. I have to stay late to watch this
yeah, yeah.
team." And then yeah, it grew with the years, and then we got some great players. I was in my early teens when we saw Baggio, Del Piero, those kind of guys, and then I just stood with it. So for me, it's always been Juventus, not anything else.
Yeah. Wow. But why not Ajax? Tell me a little about the reasoning behind that.
Well, first of all, everybody is an Ajax fan, so I have to go the other way. That's
Okay.
already when I was 5 years old. That's for sure. My whole family is Ajax fans, but I cannot go that way then. So
Huh.
that
Wow.
that was the first step, and there was nothing really here to rival them yet. PSV back in those days with Romario. I don't know if you remember him. He was great
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
same World Cup that Baggio had his highlight.
Yeah.
Romario was good too then, but they never really stood with me. So
Mm.
I just fell in love with Juventus. I cannot explain it, and yeah, then especially like the relegation that area with Merda,
Mm.
um, the players stood with the team. So have I, and now I will never leave them again
Well,
for
there we
sure.
go. This is like a perfect explanation for how Juve fan should be. Never leave your lady. stay
Never.
with them for forever, and this is how it should be. And first of all, question for you, Steve, from Nilesh. I'll even put that on the screen. Who is your favorite player from Juve history all time?
Well, you got to go with Del Piero. For
Wow.
me,
Okay.
he is
Yeah.
the man. He was like, I think we only have Chiellini now in the squad that's actually older than I am. So, but back when I was younger, Del Piero was slightly older than I am, and I could still I see a hero in him as a child a little bit, and that was one of the last ones actually, because later on the players were actually my age or younger, and he was loyal and he just stayed with Juventus, and I will always love him for that. And besides that, I like the more combative midfielders. I like the Takinardis of this world, the Davids.
Yes.
I used to love Conte actually, especially as a player. He was awesome for me. I like the runners, like the Birindellis. Those are the players that I personally love more than. That's why I sent you the Baggio shirt also.
Yeah.
I saw it. I wanted to buy it for myself, but
Yeah.
I didn't love him that much.
Okay.
Like if it would be a Birindelli shirt, I would be wearing it right now myself. But
yeah, well,
so
thank you for that one. It's
I
great.
thought
It's
you'd
great.
appreciate it more. I didn't
I
send it to get on the stream, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
No.
Since you mentioned the combative midfielders, if we're talking about more recent years, what about Arturo Vidal? Is he one of those guys that you particularly liked?
For sure. I didn't like him going to Inter though. That does affect his long-term legacy. But if you have to play a perfect 11 right now with players from history, and you distract that, then he could make the team for me.
Wow, yeah,
arguably. I love him.
He was a battle. He was a absolutely crazy guy, both on and off the pitch, so to speak.
Yeah, true. But like we were going to talk about Dybala a little bit today, and what I like with Vidal, you can be with 12 players on the field. It can feel like with the extra energy, and with Dybala, you feel sometimes like you play with 10.
Wow.
And that's why I love those Grinta midfielders so much.
Yeah, it's something the term, at least in Norway, there is a term of you bleed for the shirt. And it looks like Vidal was one of those players. He ran until he was on the floor, basically absolutely exhausted. So it is. It is something that's very easy to admire.
It's me more. That's like the Juventus player. Like, of course, we've had some beautiful midfielders like Platini, Zidane, those kind of players, beautiful, but they are Juve legends, but they're not typical Juve for me. And those combative midfielders are more for me what symbolizes the entire Juve mentality and what we are about, and what I love about Juventus.
Yeah.
And the other guys are the cherries on top.
Yeah.
Especially Del Piero, of course.
Yeah. There is a question. Boshinho is in the chat, of course, and his question, the guest is Steve, by the way, Boshinho, so it's lovely. Think about the Locatelli, and this is actually perfect turnaround to present day, because he is also a midfielder, since we are talking about the midfield. What do you think about Locatelli's start for Juve so far? Do you think he actually bosses the midfield, and do you think he is part of a bigger machinery that could finally work? Will he be part of the starting 11 if we get our midfield together? Maybe improve some of the positions in the midfield, but he still will stay in the starting lineup, or maybe do you think that he's just not there yet?
I think eventually he will be among the starting 11 for sure. He has to be. Based on his qualities, and also he's Italian, he's young. We need those kind of players in the team regardless. And he has the talent to actually be a plus. So I think he will definitely be in the 11. He might have some spells. He's a young guy. He's new. He might have some bad spells. He might be taken out. But I do like the fact that already you can see him demanding the ball. He wants to have the ball in his feet, while other players actually don't really want to have that ball in the play up. Like a Bentancur, he wants to get rid of it, and he wants the ball, and they're actually giving him the ball. So I think players trust him. So I see some positives. He hasn't been perfect yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He brings something different to this midfield, and this is also a player who played already at a high level. He played in form Sassuolo. He played for Milan previously, and of course now he plays with us. And also he played in the championship during the summer, which helped him quite a bit, I think, to really get on that international level. So yes, and Suspect Crab says that he's my favorite midfielder already. It's not that hard right now because we have Humpties and Dumpties like Bentancur and Ramsey. I just don't trust these guys at all. Another question from Nilesh: your special moments that you remember about any Juve match from all time period? Wow, I can think of you.
Well, the one that always comes into my mind for some reason, I spoke about it with Ryan on one of the chats recently, is the overhead assist from Del Piero to Trezeguet. I think it was...
yes, against Milan.
Against 05-ish, I think it was.
Perhaps, yes, I remember.
And we were really in a tight battle with them for the title. Like, it was every week it was a different team in the lead, and we played them like 1 or 2 weeks before the end of the campaign. And it was such a tight battle, that match as well. We won 1-0 by that goal. And I don't know. I exploded that day. And,
I remember. I think it was 15th or 17th minute or something. It was very, very early on in the game. Yeah. That was one special moment. And for me, it's I don't know. It's just it's got to be. I have a lot of memories, but the one that suddenly, when we talk about, since we mentioned Milan, I remember early on in the Conte era of coaching Juve, I remember when Vucinic played in the Coppa Italia and scored that outrageous long shot, and then he took off his shorts and celebrated with only with his panties. It's just so freaking Italian, and I love it. That's also remember that one very well.
He was actually a player that I surprisingly loved a lot. When he came to us, we were in that rotten position. We were 7th twice in a row, and we buy Vucinic. Like, what is he gonna do for us? But he fought for us, and I respect him. He was a very good player for us. Surprisingly,
I think so too. Yes. I was. It was actually brought something unique to the table as well. Very technical player, but it's a real shame that we didn't get enjoy him more than we did. But it is what it is. Bringing us to the present day, however. Let's go to Jacopo. Welcome, Jacopo, to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. There is a question, a lot of questions to you, Steve. I love this. It's cool. If you could pinpoint one major issue in Juve's start so far, what it would be? And that is a great question. So we can start off. We kick off the present day Juve. Of course, this is no, there is no hiding it. We are in a big mess, and we just need to find our way out of this mess. But before we could find out how to fix it, we need to understand what the major issue is. So this is a good question from Jacopo. And yes, what is your opinion about one major issue in Juve's start and what it is?
Well, the major issue in our start has been the errors from the keeper in the beginning. That cost us too many points in the beginning. I don't think Tech himself is the problem, but that has been our major issue in the beginning. We were up 2-0 in the opening match. You don't give that away. Then you have 3 points in the bank. Then the whole season starts with a different feeling, a different flow. You get some more confidence going. And now they're like, oh shit, we can't fuck up again. Instead of, let's build on what we've got. So that's why I'm so happy that we finally got the season rolling with a win. So that has been the major issue. Of course, we have other issues like the play has been not great, the build up, but
Mm.
we know this from Allegri. He will bring players slowly. He will not rush them, but also that way he probably will not damage them.
Mm. Do you think
Sometimes
that
you can put some. Yeah, go on.
do you think the reason as to why we get we lose so many points as we did was because of that draw away to Udinese? Those mistakes from Tech kind of cost us the confidence. We lead 2-0 away, as you said, comfortable. Of course, I didn't smell. I didn't think you'd smell either that comeback from Udinese at all. So we were looking comfortable. We were actually looking solid, and then suddenly we screw this up, and it is 2-2. Do you think that that kind of messed up with us, with our mentality? I mean, with the players' mentality, they're not so sure about themselves anymore. That it's not so much about confidence as it's maybe they're just unsecure about themselves. I don't know.
I think it's more of like a flow, like a team. Sometimes we in the
Mm.
past we didn't have such a great start or whatever, and then we go on a 23 match run where we lose one, we draw one time and we win 22,
Yeah.
and we were
Mm.
not that much better than the weeks before or after. We were just in a flow and things fall, and that's with football. And like you see with Bernardeschi, for example, he's a form player.
Mm.
If a team flows, then he will dribble along a little bit and he will do okay. But he's very subject to the flow of the team. He will not turn it around. And our flow is not so great in the beginning of the
No,
season.
yes, that is true. But then the second question is,
Mm.
what would be your immediate fix to this problem? Because that's not easy.
Well, like I said, the major problem in the beginning was, of course, the mentality. You can't fix that because that's unlucky. We got a win in our belts. Let's build on this. But it's not enough just to be on a better feeling, if you agree. You know, like we'd have to increase the play, and I think we should take off Dybala for now.
Mm. Wow.
Like I said, it's like we're playing with 10 men sometimes.
Mm.
If he doesn't fall over all the time, he's a great player. But sometimes he just loses every battle. Nothing comes, and then I'd much rather play with Keane on the left and Morata in the middle. You get some pace, you get some goals because now we get nothing, and
Mm.
also that way you don't have to have Rabiot in this weird position. You can just play a
Yeah.
4-3-3.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that brings us to the main topic of this stream. Basically, my friend Paulo Dybala, everyone's um, well new favorite, so to speak. If we're not talking about Federico Chiesa, because it's like when Cristiano left, everyone was relying, at least in the Juve management, but we're relying now on Paulo Dybala, and this is a very very strange player for me, and of course, we have the two fan bases. Let's say they are fan bases, two opinions. One part of you fans, they really want him to succeed. They really are behind him, almost like a fanboy level. No matter what happens, Dybala is still the GOAT. Dybala is still the one who will carry us into the future, into all the Champions League trophies and whatever. And then you have the other part where we're just where we are right now. We're just thinking, you know what? Dybala doesn't really bring so much to the table. He is not the one who can carry this team. The team carries him at times, which is not what you would expect from our number 10, from our center of the project. So this is the big conundrum and we also remember. However, we also remember Dybala playing great football back in the day, like 3-4 seasons ago. He started the season just when we changed the crest from the old crest to this crest. That season, he started like 10 goals in space of 4 games or something. It was insane start, and that start, we kind of remember that he took responsibility. He scored goals. He was enjoying himself. So, but that Dybala is nowhere to be seen today. So my question now, I know it's a tough one. It's a very, very tough one. But why don't we see that Dybala anymore, Steve? You don't have to have the answer for that. Just your opinion.
I wish I knew. I just don't think he has the power. It seems lately, like the last 2-3 seasons, every time he just falls over. He used to at least like put his body in and twist and turn them, but he doesn't do that. And it's like we're playing with a child sometimes, and can be brilliant on his moments and do amazing things, but it's not enough.
Do you think that the reason as to why he is not doing that well, and I see the comment from Arnold, hi, by the way, he did well under Sarri, he says. Yeah, he did well enough, but then again, and this is my point, him, who made him better, who kind of helped him to get those assists, get those goal points, so to speak, assists, goals, and whatever. It was still Cristiano Ronaldo who scored the most goals for Juve that season as well. Dybala was playing as he played as mostly as assist and behind all those creation of those attacks, but it was Cristiano who scored the goals. Now we are relying basically on Morata and Chiesa to create havoc in the box, because Dybala is nowhere near the box, which is, for me, it's alarming because he's an attacker. He's, after all, number 10, and I don't want to see number 10 play as a number 8. That's weird. But yeah, I don't know. Do you agree with that assumption?
Yeah, fully.
Yeah.
And I actually wanted to ask you a question, because the presence in the box.
Yeah.
I know you're not a McKennie fan, but didn't he used to run into the box and at least have a body there that could distract the defenders or whatever? But I haven't seen it this year. Have you?
He has barely played. He played like he played against Spezia, and I barely seen him. And that's also a good point. Yes, he also. We touched on Arturo Vidal. Vidal was also great at that, going box to box, attacking, but also defending, tracking back. He was wild, man. So if we compare McKennie to Vidal, it's like comparing iPhone 13 to Nokia 3210. You know, it's crazy. It's just uncomparable. But this is what we saw. We saw that briefly with McKennie play when he played against Barcelona last season. 2 goals he scored, I think, and it was because of those deep runs. But that was more. It seems to me it was more like of a fluke. It was more just a coincidence rather than it was something that they created by on a training ground or something. It was just not a tactical move. It was just luck, because we see that very, very rarely. And also the second part is I'm not sure if McKennie is basically good enough.
Fair enough, but like, if he's good enough, that would be like his ball control or things like that. But running into the box should be something you can train and do.
Yeah,
they could train me to do that. Like,
yeah, I agree.
That's not so hard, and at least it was a distraction. Like, then a Dybala can stay a little bit more behind for the deflected ball or whatever. Now you're crossing into thin air if you don't have Morata in front.
Yeah, that's the thing. And my reasoning with Dybala, if Dybala loves so much to drop deep into the midfield, pick up the ball, play it around, like start creating something, then we need more bodies ahead of him. But with Morata, it just doesn't. Morata is not enough. Moise Kean is not enough. We need someone else. And that begs the question: should when Caio Jorge comes back from injury or whatever he's doing, I don't know, after the international break, should we see more of a change in the setup, or it will be still the same thing and Caio will only feature 5-10 minutes in the Coppa Italia and that's it?
I think regardless of what will happen, I don't see Kaio featuring much for us this year.
Mm.
Maybe a Copa match, maybe last 10 minutes here or there. Even when Ken was on fire a few years ago, he didn't start him barely, if ever.
Yeah.
And he scored like 13 goals in 10 matches or something like that. And we still didn't start him. So
Yeah, that's true.
I don't see that happening. I see him more sticking with either Alvaro or with Ken up front.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe invent something different with like a Kulusevski, which didn't work last year, but I don't know. But I don't see him playing
No.
that much.
Kazi in the chat, welcome, my friend. He says that we cannot guarantee, we cannot have this guy center of of the future project because he can't guarantee his fitness and doesn't have the champion mentality, which is an interesting point in regards to that mentality. There is, however, there are also talks about Dybala's, loyalty towards the club. He loves the club. He fights he fought to stay with Juve a couple of seasons back, but then yes, he did. But then the champion mentality is something else. It's one thing is being loyal to the club, but another thing is champion mentality. But basically means, for me at least, it means to, um, well, to take responsibility, to take the team and get them out of the mess, which mess they're in. And against Spezia, you mentioned Spezia game. It's perfect example of a mess. Like we're 2-1 down, and still it ended up being Federico Chiesa, and still it ended up being Matthijs de Ligt, who well, it was maybe a coincidence, but those two guys were heavily like in discussion of for Allegri. They need to grow, they need to learn stuff. But no Dybala. Dybala was around, he was just present, but it was Chiesa's determination, again, champion mentality, right? And then Matthijs de Ligt, of course, also champion mentality. So I get that point with champion mentality actually for Dybala. I don't know if you agree.
Well, actually, a perfect example again from the same Spezia match, the Chiesa goal. The ball is on the corner position, and the Spezia defender has it. 9 out of 10 players will just kick the player and the ball over the line out of frustration in that moment, even risk a yellow card. But Chiesa not only tried to win the ball, but he kept it in play, focused on that, and tried to continue scoring.
Yeah.
Dybala gets a yellow card because they don't kick the ball out of the field for an injury for us.
Yes, it was against Milan.
That's the mentality difference. One wants to win the ball, score goals, and the other one is focused on what they are doing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. I also didn't like that with Dybala. It's just nonsense. Why focus on that when you are, when you are in this very sensitive situation? It's just 54 minutes played the second half, and you feel that Milan are getting back into the game. You need to grab this game. You need to take responsibility as a champion, as a captain, even though he wasn't that captain at that time, but it was Chiellini, but he still wears the captain armband for us. So he is captain material, so to speak. So yeah, I completely agree. And I did not like that all those fans regards to praising Dybala for his push on Tonali. I mean, it's unnecessary. It's just we don't have the time for that. We need to score. We need to close the game down instead of, playing the ball out. That's the most important thing. I don't get it. But yeah.
Yeah, and there will be moments, maybe 30th match of the year this year, Dybala will be suspended because of accumulated yellow cards.
Yeah, there we go.
And that would be the match that we need him away versus Inter or Napoli or whatever match it will be by that time, Don't get stupid yellow cards.
Yeah. If anyone has to be the center of the project and has the ability to lead this U standing from the front, it has to be none but Chiesa. Well, there we go. Build a team around Chiesa, not around Dybala. That is a good point because we have seen proof that Chiesa can deliver right now, present day. And we have not seen that much from Dybala. We've seen flashes. We've seen some technical, marvelous stuff. He dribbles past 2, 3 players, and suddenly the Twitter, the Instagram, the social media just going ballistic. Oh, he's the GOAT. He's the great. Look at him dancing and pissing everybody off. But in reality, it doesn't give us anything. It's just showboating with no end product. At least this season.
But what does it mean to build the team around them?
Well, focusing on whatever. Well, let's put Cristiano is a perfect example of building team around Cristiano.
Okay.
It's like focusing on that player's best qualities and enhancing him, trusting him, because he has the quality to do whatever. So he has a free role to do whatever, build a team around him, make him as happy as possible. That kind of stuff, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. What do you think?
But like Ronaldo is a great player, and I understand you would do something for a player like Ronaldo, arguably. But that's not Juve. We don't need to build around Chiesa or build around Locatelli or build around De Ligt. I don't even know how you can build around De Ligt. You need a project, you need an attitude, a style of play, and have the best players suited for that. Because you can build a team around Chiesa, and then he breaks his leg.
Yeah.
And then you're fucked.
Yeah.
You need a spine. And then you can have the gems that make this system work. We didn't build a team around Vidal. We didn't build a team around Pirlo. We just bought a few players, and randomly it worked because Conte is a genius at making a unit. But I don't think we built around any of the players back then.
The thing is, this is very, very good point, actually, because we remember Juve being a machine. We don't remember Juve being so dependent on one player, but right now I think the things changed now. And we, especially after Cristiano arrived, we were very, very dependent on one player because he was so dominant. And now kind of people may be hoping that Dybala can do the same, but I think we should lower our expectations quite a bit because they are not the same player at all. There's also a comment from Jacopo. I love this. Respect to disagreement on the Dybala take, which is very fine. Despite of form and coming from a season of injuries, he's the most naturally talented player in the squad. I don't know what that means. Naturally talented player.
But we're not saying to get rid of him. But he doesn't need to be in the lineup right now. He doesn't add anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least if he has to be in the lineup, then you have to set up a team that is more offensive than they currently are. Because with Dybala in the side, there is no offense. There is rarely anything. Morata and Chiesa are providing those forward runs, but Dybala is not the one. This is the thing that pisses me off with Dybala as well in regards to his off-the-ball movement. It's just non-existent. He loves to have the ball to his feet, and that's it. But off-the-ball runs are very, very rare from Dybala. And if he is an attacker, then attack. So that's opinion. All right, let's see. Anish had a question. Anish had a question regarding, let's see here, Barella. Question for Steve. Looking for current situation at Merda, we can get Barella for some low price. Will he be a perfect fit? Steve, over to you.
I honestly don't watch Merda matches that much, if any. Only
you don't need more poison in your blood, my friend.
Exactly. Yes. I get aggravated enough. He's a pretty good player. Like,
yeah.
If you can get him for a low price, he's quality. Get him. Like we bought Cannavaro for a low price and made him into a world-class player from Merda. So I don't have a problem signing any players from them. It's just that I don't know them very well because I don't watch any of their matches.
Mm.
And
But
you?
Barella is would be a great fit for us, I think. But then we need to get rid of, for example, Bentancur, because they are, well, if there is anyone I could get rid of, that would be Bentancur and slot Barella right in there. But then again, I'm not sure the priority is there. I'm not sure if the money is there. And dealing with Merda right now, it's yeah, dealing with Merda. Period. It's like dealing with crap. You know, it just doesn't. You're not very fond of getting your hands dirty, like literally.
Not, like realistically speaking, if we use three midfielders, it should always be Rabiot, Locatelli, and a third one,
Yeah.
meaning McKennie, Benta, Arthur, or
Mm,
Ramsey. I think Barella could be better than three of those four.
mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, it could be. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. If we play with three in the middle, not four in the middle, it will be a better fit for these guys, especially for probably Locatelli. Rabiot will be more in his natural position, having mm, more support from the back with Alexandro and up front from a left winger, but with Rabiot being there as a fourth midfielder with no left winger at all, it's just very, very strange for me. It's not only Dybala that is the problem, says Arnold. The whole squad are becoming weaker and weaker. It naturally will become harder to win games. Yeah. I mean, what can we say? What can we say? It is true. It is true that we're becoming weaker and weaker. And my question to you, Steve, what do we do now? Probably we will re-sign contract with Dybala, but what is our solution going forward? Will he will probably get like 10 million or 9 or 10 million or something, but will our solution be that we will still need in the next transfer window, probably not in January, but next season? Do you think that Juve will still go out and buy a proper striker? Given that, of course, Morata is probably going to sign his permanent contract as well. So Morata will stay. But do you think that we will still go off and buy a proper striker who can guarantee us goals? And don't give me Erling Holland nonsense, because he will be too expensive.
I'm not that guy. I'm not
Thank
that
you.
guy. No. Yeah, we do need a striker. We do need a striker. I think the board recognizes it. The only way we will not get a top striker next summer is if Moise can unexpectedly scores 30 goals this year and Morata scores 20 plus. Like and if that happens, then we don't need a striker.
Mm-hmm.
But any other way, I don't see it happening that we don't get one.
But who would it be for you? Who would you take this?
You don't know who is available by then, but at this moment,
who would be your preferred pick?
If I can choose anybody, I would pick Zapata from Atalanta.
Wow. Okay. Why?
He fits our type of play. Like I can see him bullying defenders, and then we have like the Chiesas running around, Kulusevskis. I could see that work, and I like those kind of strikers also. I like a little bit of Grinta up front also, and yeah, for me he does that.
Zapata, excellent pick. There we go from Jacopo. Wow. That we won't get to see. Yes, there we go from Suspect Crab. That we won't get to see Zapata versus Delict anymore, except on the training ground. So yeah, it's a no from Crab on this one.
Sorry, Crab. Sorry.
Yeah. Juve is guaranteed a win against Sampdoria, says Pushinho. I'm not sure about that, but I hope so. I hope they win, of course. Yes, this is a question also from Kazi. I like this one. Zapata or Vlahovic, both would be great. Do you know much about Vlahovic?
A little bit. I like him a lot, but he's a bit more of the same for me. Is he that much different in his style of play than Morata? For me, comparable. And Zapata is really, he's like a Lukaku, basically, for
Mm,
me.
mm,
So I would take Zapata over that.
mm. Yeah, probably
You?
more affordable. I don't know. It's I like Zapata as well. I think he's a big guy. I would take um, I would take that kind of a player. Not sure about Zapata, but I would take that kind of physical monster all the way up front, like bullying defenders, creating space for others. It's just a
Hmm.
perfect fit for us, yes, and also probably would be perfect fit for Allegri. Like defend we defend first and then attack later, and he would be the perfect guy to like offload that defensive worry. We push the ball up high, and then Zapata can hold on to the ball. Zapata is 31 this season, guys, says Gonaldo. One. Well, that is perfect for us. We love these old kind of players. But when they're passing 30, that's when you are very interested in those kind of guys. By the way, Steve, did you see the news about Donnarumma? Oh, the rumor.
No?
No, Donnarumma is apparently not happy with sitting on the bench for PSG, and Mino Raiola, who is his agent, wants him at Juve for next season. What do you think about that one? Do you think it's true? First of all,
I actually had this discussion with a mate of mine during the Euros already.
yeah, there we go.
Like,
Anish
I,
just did it. Lovely. Uh,
I, I, I can't see them benching the current keeper. He's done so well for them. Like,
mm,
that would be completely unfair, and Donnarumma doesn't want to wait. So
mm.
it's not completely unexpected. I don't think it will actually happen, but these rumors are not unexpected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I don't believe it until I hear it from Donnarumma himself. Because these rumors right now, it's just slow news day, and it's not so surprising since he was to talk about Delict leaving. Delict, of course, is also a client of Mino Raiola, so he starts to pull some strings here and there, thinking about Delict leaving, and then I can give you Donnarumma. What do you say? And my question to you, Steve, would you actually do that swap? Not exactly swap, but would you sacrifice Delict if it means that Donnarumma arrives? That is a
Mm,
crazy
that's
question.
that's a very tough one. No, no,
You wouldn't do that.
no, no,
Mm.
no. I
Do you like
think
tech so much?
no. I like the Ligt so much.
Okay.
I think It's more difficult to find a player of the Ligt's quality and age, and that will be more expensive than to get a pretty good goalkeeper. Maybe not Donnarumma's level,
Mm.
but yeah, it's not that hard to get a good goalkeeper, is it? Like, we fuck it up every time, but it's
Well,
not that hard.
well, apparently 75% of all Juve fans are thinking that Perin is a wonderful goalkeeper since they're all hating on Tech. Just you wait. Apparently, the rumors are that Perin will start on Sunday. So
I saw that.
just you wait. Just you wait. Let's see what happens. But I think, of course, we need at some point we need to get a new goalkeeper, and of course now we're comparing everything to Gigi Buffon, the great Buffon. Uh, who would that be? Who would be his replacement? Be Emil Audero has been mentioned. Yeah, there we go. That's a perfect one. That's a lovely one. Of course, the one of those 75 percenters. It's lovely, and we don't even know. We don't. I don't even remember last time Payne played. You know, 2 months ago, Juve could have got Donnarumma for free, high wage contract, and a lot of money for Raiola next season. It would be at least 100 million plus all of that. So no chance from Gonaldo. Yeah, well, if my Mino Raiola gets this swinging, that maybe means Delict and Donnarumma swap. But Steve says no. You know what? I say no as well. I rather keep Delict. I have his shirt, so I'd rather keep it for quite some time. So yeah. You know what? Let's take a look at the. I'll show you something, Steve. Let's see. This lovely my lovely tactical pad. So this is the not the projected. It's rumored lineup against Sampdoria. And when you see this, please don't faint or just start screaming, because it is bad. It is as bad as you'd expect.
I think
So
I've seen it.
yes, it is absolutely bonkers. I don't know what this is. So if you don't know the numbers, I'll spell it out for you. So this is Perin.
I know,
He
but I
starts.
see on. Yeah, go on.
Alexandro right there.
Hmm.
Danilo right there. So it's good so far.
Yeah, but tell me.
Delict,
Yeah.
probably. And then you have this little girl, and her name is Daniele. Last name Rugani. What is she doing there? I have no idea. Then we go to Rabiot. Then we go to Ramsey. I bashed Ramsey last during my last stream, by the way, because well, Allegri trusted him so much that he never barely starts him anymore. And then boom, suddenly he starts him again. Apparently, then our good friend McKennie, who we talked about already, Quadrado, no Chiesa, Morata, and Dybala up front. Now, does that make you sick?
That doesn't make any sense at all. We rested Locatelli.
Yes,
Okay, he had to come on at halftime, but
we're
he
resting
only played
Locatelli now as well.
half
It
a
seems.
match. We have to rest him again
Hmm.
for a player that's coming back from injury in Ramsey. Then let's say we play well, take him off in the 60th minute if we're up 3-0 or whatever. Like this is again making a lot of changes.
Yep.
And then you never get any stability in the team. And I don't understand why Rugani is playing. We are 6 matches in. We already need to rotate the defenders that much that he has to start.
Yep.
Like, okay, if we are unbeaten in the league so far, do it. But we need a clean sheet and a win.
So, well, the thing is, the reason why this is actually might be true is because one of the most renowned journalists, Giovanni Albanese, from Gazzetta dello Sport, he was the one who tweeted it today. So Bonucci rested for Rugani, Locatelli rested for Ramsey, Bentancur for McKennie, Quadrado for Chiesa, Morata for Kulusevski, actually. Wow, by the way, I didn't catch that one. So we forget about Morata. I don't know why. Let me find that piece of ass. Let's see. Kulusevski starts. So I really don't know what to say about that one, because then we really don't have any prima punta. And I wonder if Dybala also rests and they go. It almost looks like we're playing against Sampdoria B side. That's how confident we are. We're rotating all over the place. Because if no Morata, but Ken must be there, no?
Then yeah, you can't play Dybala, Kulusevski, Quadrado.
No, you cannot. No. And then Kulusevski will be playing right here. Quadrado will be playing there. Ken will be playing there.
Yeah, but Dybala would be playing in the middle of Kulu and.
He will be playing right here.
True.
Right here, perhaps. Yes,
Yeah, there. Yeah, like in that middle. Yeah.
I don't know, but if Kulusevski starts, he will be here, and Quadrado, of course, here. But then I don't know. Again, Alexander will be completely exposed here. I don't like it. But Rugani, yes. I mean, I don't understand it either. Why start Rugani now? And Sampdoria, they are not that bad, actually. So
no. They still have Quagliarella?
Yes. Quagliarella is still there, still alive, still. I think he scored recently.
Could be. He was a hero also.
Yes, he was. Yes, Caio Jorge coming back, says Roshinho. Probably, yeah, but he will not start. You know, Allegri. Allegri will not start Caio Jorge until round 50. No, not 50. Well, 31 or 32, at least. So yeah, but this is a very very strange formation which I don't like. Set it 3-5-2. They say, all right, let's say that 3-5-2, which will be Daniele Rugani in the middle. That just makes it even worse. But that doesn't help, does it? Slightly, perhaps. Like this. What do you think, Steve?
No, if you play with these 11, I would
Yeah.
play a 4-3-3 with Kulu on the left, if possible.
So you go.
Quadra, yes.
Okay, yeah, like this.
Yeah. But that's if you have to go with these 11.
Yeah. Wow, it doesn't look good, does it? And he will
No.
always cut inside Kulusevski anyway, and he will drift as well. So don't expect to be having a free. This is also a thing, by the way. We don't have a free, proper left winger.
No. No, we don't.
Which,
Well,
which
Chiesa is a very proper left winger, but he's that much better on the right. But that's
yeah,
why we still keep playing him on the left, because he's still very good.
yeah, and I mean Chiesa is a left winger because he's just that good of a player, and Chiesa's cutting. He will cut inside as well, so we don't have any proper left winger in terms of crossing from the left, like sending those long balls towards Ken or Morata. But
Are you pleading to put in the Nokia on the left?
no, no, no,
You
no,
can
no.
you can
No.
be honest. Not to be
Do I
shy.
really wanna? Do I really wanna try that?
Look at those beautiful crosses coming in,
Yeah,
hitting the
yeah.
first man.
The cross is on his tattoos. You mean? No, man. You know, I don't trust him at all. It's just so freaking inconsistent. And apparently, I think Allegri doesn't trust him either, because he's also only been featuring like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but not starting. If I can recall.
True, but he would be the only actual
He
left
would be.
winger.
Yes. If we play 4-3-3, yeah. Oh, I don't like this at all.
I think it was a few years ago. I think we had some injuries, or a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
And I think we had to even play with Alexandro as a number 9. Do you remember that match? Yeah, and I think he actually scored the winner that match as well.
Alexandro as a
As
number
an
9.
In Serie A, yes. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I'll try to see if I can find the match after the stream, or maybe somebody in the chat remembers. He
Yeah.
had to play as a number 9. Yeah, that's how terrible it was. So you could see him actually,
Oh,
and it was under Max for sure.
Rugani is not left-footed, Crab. That's well. In terms of what? In terms of walking around, starting to walk with his left. Sorry, starting to walk with his left. I mean, yeah, probably he's left-footed that way, but not left-footed with his ball. With the ball, that's for sure. I think he's right-footed, guaranteed. LCB,
There's a
yeah.
saying in Dutch actually that sometimes a player has 2 left feet when you're not very good.
Yeah. It's the
So maybe
yeah.
that's what Crab's talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. Yes. That's funny. Yeah, but back to Dybala. We're more talks about Bernard's in section than Dybala. Yeah, there you go. That's funny. Lovely. Yeah, but Paulo Dybala and him being the center of the project, do you think he is more of you said it basically already, that he is more of sometimes he's more of a problem than a solution, because he plays with 10 men. You feel like we play more with 10 men when he plays, but how do you make this team play to Dybala's strengths? How do you utilize Dybala's qualities, and what needs to go? I mean, do we have to sacrifice something for Dybala to succeed, for Dybala to carry us, or basically just the fact that he doesn't have any He doesn't. He doesn't have the mental strength to carry us.
I, when I said that we sometimes play with Dybala, we play with 10 men.
Yeah.
That's the current Dybala. Like when he's great, he's unstoppable. I think what he needs is a main man next to him that scores the goals. When he started with us, he was looking up to the players, and he worked around them. When he was with Pipita up front, you
Yeah.
could see that Pipita was actually the boss, and he was the main man, and he was the main target, and he could feed around it. He cannot, Dybala cannot be the main threat. And I love Alvaro, but he doesn't draw that attention from the others that that a good striker would, like like we had. So I think Dybala needs a proper target man next to him to flourish, which we don't have. So I don't see
So,
him in this current setup. I don't see him flourishing.
so what you're saying is basically that when we have Dybala and now Morata, so well, Morata maybe is the problem then. That Morata is just not good enough prima punta striker for Dybala, and we are actually getting him permanently now for next season. So that means Dybala will never get out his best form at Juve now because there are no good players around him.
That could very well be.
Yeah, and
Like
then
some players are like the cherry on top,
yeah,
and you need to have like everything flowing, and then they can do the amazing things. But we don't have those foundations.
yeah. Remember when you talked about at the start of the stream, you talked about that goal Juve against Milan, Trezeguet to Dybala. There we go, Trezeguet to Del Piero, of course. Uh, that is basically something that we are looking for. They complemented each other very well during that time, and this is what we want with Dybala and someone else. And that someone else could be Morata, but it just doesn't seem to work. Um, and also, that begs also another question: is there anyone else beside Morata that Dybala needs? Maybe midfield who can be more supportive, more attacking minded, perhaps. I don't know. But that, yeah,
But it's not only a question of quality because Alvaro is a good striker. But I'm for me, Morata and Mandzukic are similar level strikers. You love one more than the other, but they're in the same ballpark. But Mandzukic matches much better with Dybala than Morata because he's that bully up front.
yeah.
And Morata matched better, I think, with Ronaldo as a more. It was more fluid in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't see them as a pair being great.
The whole situation around Dybala is just annoying, says Dominic. Hi, Dominic, by the way. He demands an excessive salary compared to his performances. For me, he remains an eternal talent who unfortunately cannot decide big games. Yeah, this is a very good point. He is not a big game player, or if he is, he would do that on more or less consistent basis. But we've only seen glimpses of that. And another question that comes to mind is that since Dybala is such a particular player that he needs that kind of player next to him, that kind of midfielder, is it just too much of an ask for Juve to actually care about Dybala's performances, that they rather just forget about him, sign a new contract now, and then they sell him actually after this season, and then rebuild completely going forward, because Dybala cannot be accommodated that much because we don't have the money to accommodate him with a great player in the midfield. We don't have the money to accommodate him with a great striker. We're not going to do this. We're not going to base our transfer strategy around Dybala, can we?
No, and you probably see it all over the internet and on Twitter and everything. We get compared to Arsenal nowadays, which is
Yeah.
actually a bit embarrassing. And one of the main problems with Arsenal has been them keep renewing Özil and the other guys that didn't offer anything because they couldn't let them walk on free. But
Yeah.
over a 5 year period, you pay a lot more. And it might be a bitter pill to swallow, but if he doesn't want to sign for what we offer him, which I assume would leave us enough to buy something else as well, then let him go and then we can spend everything to get something more suited to the system. Like we should get like a play style, a mentality, and then try to find players that suit that instead of building the system around
Yeah.
world class players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Dybala is playing more register than a striker. Yes, that is true. That is true, Arnold. Yes, and also we remember when Dybala was great last. I think it was Arnold also who said it in the chat right at the beginning. Um, the Dybala, the most recent Dybala who played well was when Ronaldo was also there, the under Sarri, that is. So that is very interesting. That also Cristiano is also a proper player. If you play next to him, you will also do well. So we can of course not compare Mandzukic to Ronaldo, slightly different players, but still Ronaldo also um, kind of draws attention away from Dybala, gives space to other players. So that's why Dybala got to play many good games for you in that season. But now Morata is not that level. Unfortunately, even though he scores, he does great, but he's still not world class. I will not say that Morata is world class striker, but
You'll
you
never
know,
say that. Huh?
no, I will not. Do you think so?
I don't think he's world class, but I love him. So I'm
That's fine. That's
it's
fine.
difficult
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say.
yeah. But what do you love him? Tell me. Why do you love him?
Well, you were there when he came as a young boy from Madrid, and
Yes.
he had that feel good factor about him. And we reached the Champions League final that year, I think, and he scored in the last 5 matches in a row.
Yeah, he was a Champions League
Um,
player. Yes. Hmm.
yeah, and he took the record from the or equaled the record from Del Piero for most consecutive Champions League games scored for Juve. And I don't know. Since then, there's something about him. I like him.
Yeah. I liked him a lot when during his first time at Juve. I liked him very much. He gave us something. He gave us speed up front. I remember that very well, and he also gave us, that determination, bombarding forward, the direct, almost like Chiesa, like runs forward, and also his immense run when we played Bayern Munich. I remember that very well. I remember his role with Costas Manolas when he played against Roma. That was lovely. And when he scored against Real Madrid at Bernabeu, I remember that very well. Yes, but today's Morata, is a different player. He is, uh, he is a soul striker.
I agree.
Yeah.
But when you love a player, you love a player.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. That's fine. Yeah. He's okay. I just don't see him as a world class. Not Holland type of striker. Not.
For sure not. But he
Yeah.
knows that himself.
Yeah. Sure. But that brings back to Dybala discussion. As to which player can accommodate Dybala the best, and do we even bother, accommodating Dybala? But right now, it just doesn't seem to be an option, any point in discussing it, because it seems like Morata will get signed permanently. It also looks like Dybala will also sign a contract. So we are staying with those guys, but we need another striker, in my opinion. And
Yes,
what do you think about Ken, by the way? Do you think he is also the solution for the future?
he could be. He has a physical thing about him. He wants it. He, he can score a goal so far. Like,
Yeah.
I hope so, but there's never a guarantee, of course. But why not?
Mm. Mm. Yeah. I'm on the fence. I'm not sure. I just feel that something is missing. Something is some. With Holland, with all these great strikers like Kun Aguero back in the day,
Hmm.
or Cristiano for that matter. I mean, they all had that something extra that nobody else had. They just suddenly they appear and score a magnificent goal, get us out of the trouble, and I just don't see that with Moise Kean just yet. Anyway, maybe that will come, but the only way the only way that he can get that confidence is by playing. So I mean, let him play.
Hmm.
So yeah,
But
I get the point with the 4-3-3 formation with Ken on the left and Morata all the way up front.
I would love that 4-3-3
Yeah.
with Ken on the left.
Yeah, there we go. The funny thing is, the Calcio Mercato non-stop writing about Juve's Holland plan, says Janosch. But why the hell would Holland come to Juve? Yes, well, because he's a Juve
Because
fan. Apparently, he was pictured one time at the Juve match in Juve. In Juve, I don't know, it was a sweater or hat or something. And yes, he's a Juve fan. But why would he come? I don't know.
because we're Juventus and everybody wants to pay
Yeah,
for it.
that would be the only thing. But what is Juve nowadays? The history, yes, fine. We love that history, but today we are an absolute mess. So we need to rediscover that. Juve are a big club. Juve, they should fear us. They should respect us. But I mean, Spezia can get a visit from Juve and piss on us with 2 goals. Like Empoli going to Juve Stadium and winning in our home. I mean, it's unacceptable.
But don't forget, football is a cycle also.
Yes.
And in a few years, there's going to be little boys growing up that grew up during our 9 year champions run and our 2 trips to the final, where we had Ronaldo as the main targeting man. I see so many Juventus shirts on the street right now. I used to be the only one
Yeah.
that I ever saw, and now I see them all the time. Unfortunately, 9 out of 10 times it's Ronaldo on the back.
Yeah.
But there will be future boys, like a lot of young boys growing up that want to play for Juventus, and we will be back, even if we go through a rotten spell for a few years, which I don't actually expect, but we'll never be gone.
Yeah. No. No. We're not gonna go and become Arsenal.
No,
That's we're just too big and too smart on the leadership in the management level. I think. And say what you will about Agnelli, and I mean we can talk about Agnelli as well, but he cares about the club. He cares about the future of the club. He cares about what Juve look like in the footballing world. As for Arsenal, I mean, don't get me started. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess, and their fans are just a farce with all this YouTube nonsense, and it's just become more of a laughing stock, and we don't want to be there. And I don't think Agnelli wants us
no,
to be there as well.
no. I don't think he would accept it.
No, yeah. Whew. Yeah. If you had a good team which only need a striker, I would understand Holland. But we are a team who are very uncertain to qualify for Champions League in this season, and we are playing like Yugoslavia. Wow, that is rough from Janos. But yes, we are not smart. Marotta was smart, and Agnelli let him go because he was smarter than him. I don't think that's the case, but Marotta was. I think Cristiano. I still think that Cristiano move kind of escalated the relationship or the rifts between Marotta, sorry, and Agnelli. In more probably more of a marketing move, and then Marotta was having none of it. Perhaps I don't know.
And in hindsight, you'll never know what the right call was. Like, I mean, okay, we're in a mess right now with Ronaldo, but
Uh,
Juventus was one of them. Like we've always been one of the top 10 clubs in the world. But we were like on every football show. They were always talking about Juventus, ESPN, everything, and
Yeah.
that's not normally the case. It's always Real Madrid and the Premier League.
Yeah.
So
Look at now the Marotta finding new right coaches and finding the right players. Well, it's early on in the season, but yeah, Marotta was great. Marotta was great for us, for sure. And we'll see. We'll see if we ever know, as you say, what went wrong behind the scenes when Marotta left and left it all to Paratici. Yeah. All right. So we have a game on Sunday, Steve, and I think you are one of those guys who just hate predicting.
yes,
Yes, you can't. So I won't do that to you, my friend. It's
thanks.
it will be unreasonable, but I will predict myself. And as by looking at this mess of a lineup, there we go. Right now, I mean, if we're being serious, I think this will be. I think this is more likely to be the case right here. And no Nokia, forget about Nokia. I think it will be, if that is true, that Kulusevski starts, then I think Moise Kean will also start. That is a worrying sign for me. Or maybe Morata will start. But sorry. Well, yeah, maybe he will. I don't know. But then no Dybala, because Dybala sooner or later needs a rest anyway, because he's played every game, I think. But 4-4-2, this formation does not exactly gives me confidence. So I'm gonna say 1-1 draw based on what I see now. And there will be a lot of unhappy faces in the stream on Sunday, I think, because this is not acceptable with 1-1 at home anyway. Suspected Crab goes with the tie as well. Yeah, I don't know. If this is, it might change during the Saturday. Maybe we'll see actually the real setup. But if Rugani starts, don't get your hopes up, my friends. Moji was great, says says Arnold. Yeah, until he was banned. So
how funny would it be though if we finally get a clean sheet with Rugani?
yeah, but it actually, yeah, that's also a good point. It could actually happen because Allegri loves Rugani so much, and they might actually get the best out of him. If anything, if the season will get one positive, it's Rugani getting better as a football player. But don't get your hopes up. Yeah, no, I honestly don't know what's going on with Rugani back there, and also I'm not sure if the Delete will be starting. Yeah, good question from Janos, by the way, Steve. Lorenzo Pellegrini, would you take him?
Yeah,
I would take him in a heartbeat if that's possible.
Yep. For sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Didn't somebody make a joke the last time that we signed the wrong Pellegrini a few years ago?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe they just spelled. Yeah. Maybe it was the final doing of Marotta before he left, with his left eye being a bit shaky, missing on the Pellegrini signing. Yeah, and also that is the weird thing we haven't even talked about Luca Pellegrini. What's your thoughts about him, and why do you think doesn't he start?
Well, I don't like him that much. I saw him in the friendlies, the preseason, and he was sleeping every time we conceded a corner or there was he falls asleep on the defense, and he was actually worse than Quadra. So, but of course, it was friendly preseason, but no, that didn't build me much confidence. And I told you I like the Grinta midfielders, and I much rather have a defender that actually keeps his flat.
Yeah.
15 assists a year would be great, but of course, like I want a defender there.
Yeah, yeah. Alexandro is there for the reason. I think Alexandro is much better defender than he is an attacker. However, he freaking scored against Malmö once, almost scored twice, which is a rarity for Alexandro. Very very strange, but
He's been
yeah.
okay this year, no?
Yes, so far he's done well. Yes, he's been turning back the years, and again, Allegri does great with defending players, defenders, but it's the attackers that's the problem. You know, the midfield, all that stuff. All right. So the last thing we're gonna ask you, Steve, before we end this stream. This is a crazy one, and I'm actually gonna ask you for a prediction, but it's not short-term prediction; it's a long-term prediction.
Okay.
So, of course, I already screwed up my prediction on that one. So, do you think Juve will win this season? Anything?
I'll back you up. We're gonna win the league.
You serious?
I think we're still gonna win the league. As
Wow.
long as it's possible, I believe we're gonna win the league.
Wow. I wish I shared your confidence, my friend. I don't know. Why do you think so?
I don't trust any of the other teams. First of all, we're
Okay.
not that far behind yet. We'll get things rolling.
10 points behind Napoli. I think it was Napoli. Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You
Oh,
are that confident.
but Crapoli is nothing. Like, no. None of them are gonna hold it up.
You are actually you're serious. I see that. You're
I
serious.
am serious. Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the confidence. I'm sorry, I just cannot share it at this moment. It's just now it's just, this is like a perfect example of a fino alla fine mentality. It's just, you sit back and it doesn't matter what happens now. We're gonna get there. We're gonna win. Yes, Dominic. I wish I shared his confidence too.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's just, I don't know. What do you think was happening? Okay, another question though. Champions League. How far do you think it will go?
We'll get out of the group stages for sure.
For sure. Wow.
For
Okay.
sure. And then it's a lottery. Like, if you draw Bayern Munich or Paris Saint-Germain in the next round, is it really your fault if you go out? But
yeah.
like, really,
Sorry.
and from there, we should make the quarterfinals every year.
Yeah.
And from there, based on form, suspensions, and who you draw against.
Yeah. Huh. So you say quarterfinal?
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. I love it. There was a question from, I don't remember who that was earlier, about the Chelsea game coming up next week. I think it's Chelsea coming up, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you see us doing? It's a huge game.
Is it? Like, it's the group stages.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the Champions League. It's the champions of the Champions League last season.
Of course. But draw. I don't. Of course, I want to win it, and it would be great for our form to build on it. But even if we get a beating, that won't mean anything. Like, do you think we go to the group stages? Honestly,
I have my slight doubts, to be honest.
Okay.
But because I fear those Zenit boys slightly. But it almost feels to me like I talk to Allegri right now. You're just so relaxed. You think you
but like, I don't think I think Zenit might take a point from us here or there, but I don't think they will beat Chelsea twice. So us beating Chelsea, we don't have to beat Chelsea twice to stay ahead of Zenit. We have to beat them, and that's a big match for me. Like, I don't really care if we make first or second in the group stages, because it's the group stages.
Yeah. I love it. This is great. This is confidence and belief in your team. I like it. And yeah, I agree with you on the Champions League group stage. It's just, It's just a game, and if we lose that one, it's no big deal because we have still 4 games left to play, and one of them is Malmö at home, and 2 of them is Zenit at home and away. Yeah, I see that. I see you're taking it easy, and yeah,
Well, hey, we want to win
yeah,
all the
I get it.
time, but
Yeah,
it's
of
not a
course.
season breaker, even if you lose 3-0.
Yeah. Interesting.
But do you think we will lose next week?
Yes, I think
Okay.
so, but I don't think that would matter too much. Honestly, I don't think that would. I think it will be tight. But again, they have surprised me before. They went to Manchester City, and I was thinking they were gonna get absolutely dismantled because it's Man City, huge team. They won with Morata scoring once. I think it was Morata and someone else. Don't remember. 2-1 away.
Didn't he Mandzukic?
Yeah. I think it was Mandzukic the first. Yes. Morata and Mandzukic. That was a huge game. At Bayern Munich, we almost had them by the nuts. It was just Patrice Evra who did not have his nuts in place that in a special moment. Still annoys me, but it is what it is. I think it could be surprise, but if everything goes as I fear, it will be probably a 2-1 loss or maybe 2-0 or something. But in the end, it won't matter because we'll have a bigger fish to fry. I think we have actually a bigger fish to fry at home. Yeah, I mean in Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
We need those points more in Serie A when we need the Champions League right now. So
A draw
yes,
next week would be pretty good.
yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the draw. Oh, absolutely. I think Allegri's tactics to sit park, keep the clean sheet doesn't work anymore. First of all, we can't keep clean sheets in modern football. Is about to risk something from Dominic. Yes, that is a good point. It's just a bit not a bit arrogant almost. Is because back in the day we had Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli. Now we have Rugani maybe playing on Sunday. So we shall see if we actually turn around and don't trust Rugani that much and actually start attacking. Because imagine Quagliarella against Rugani, that would be interesting at least. Oh, all right, guys, it has been great fun. Steve is a great guy. It was lovely to have a chat with Steve. So thank you, Dominic. Thank you, Willie, Crab, Arnold, and Janos, and everyone else who followed this stream. Anything you want to say, Steve?
I don't have much to add. Cheers, guys. Thanks for
Cheers.
yeah
Yeah.
sticking with us. I'm sorry. I might be a bit boring sometimes or long-winded. I'm not a professional YouTuber, but
No,
it
that's
was
fine.
fun. It was great fun. I had fun talking about Juve. I
Yeah.
love
That's
Juve.
fine.
So.
It's that's all it's all about. We just talk with Juve fans and camera, no camera. That's the beauty of if there is one thing we learned from COVID is that we can still talk to people at least digitally, and it gave us more opportunities to talk like this right now. I'm not sure if COVID would allow this. If COVID never happened, maybe we never had this discussion. So you don't know, and yeah, it's interesting how things turn around for the better, at least for some of us. So yeah, I wish everyone well. I wish everyone a good weekend, and we'll see you, of course, on Sunday for a watch along. Since this is during the day, at least here in Europe, probably we'll be watching this together, me and my freaking 4-year-old who absolutely adores Paulo Dybala. Yeah, it is what it is. I hope he isn't watching right now, because if he watches right now, he'd be crying himself to sleep. Dybala is the center of my project. I want him to stay.
My fiance is a Dybala fan as well, so I will be in trouble if I send
Yeah,
her this
there we
link.
go. Yeah, we are in trouble now. That's for sure.
You got to speak
It
your
is what
mind.
it is. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Have a nice one, a good one, and we'll see you on Sunday for the watch along Juve against Sampdoria. My prediction is a draw. Steve won't say what his prediction is, and that's fine.
We'll win.
We'll win. Okay, he says we'll win.
We'll win.
Okay. Ciao, guys. Thank you.